on by Tevin Brown. He's got runners with him. One of them is Baxter Jr. Wow.
Look at that time. The Baxter Jr. on the break. Really, you see how he looked early? You saw who he had. He knew where he was going the whole time. He just wanted to draw defenders to set that one up.
Hello and welcome to Sal's Hoopheads. Great to have your company once again. Justin Nelson with you, and joining me, the lovable larrikins of the Sal's NBL, who once again, 2 weeks in a row, have completely overdressed for this show. Casey Frank and Andrew Mulligan. Good evening.
Hello, and I really appreciate Casey wearing a psychotic.
I'm psychotic for basketball. I love it so much.
You give me Charles Manson vibes at the best of time with the beard hair combination.
You've even rocked the cap this week.
Yeah, I'm going full NBA playoffs. I'm loving what's around the corner.
Yeah.
And of course, Michael Jordan, the GOAT. I won't hear anything about this LeBron James guy.
Have you seen the new movie yet, by the way?
No. Does look good.
Yeah.
I have a 2-year-old, so I don't see any movies anymore.
Okay,
but maybe when it comes up, maybe when it gets on Sky.
Yeah. Oh, what a company man we have here. Yeah, lovely. That's a great idea.
Hey, round one, Sal's NBL, man, just fantastic. How good was it? Right from Thursday night, it had everything: overtime, big plays, missed shots, big rebounds, big shots, young stars, dunks, unbelievable. It was huge.
Incredible first weekend. I started with that overtime victory, ended with a pretty tight one as well down south, and that's the way you like to see, especially with teams still have talent to come in, but that youth development has just really been impressive this year so far.
The likes of, say, Charlie Dalton, who had a massive dunk in the Tuatara Giants game, and then Todd Withers just doing Todd Withers things, just punching down like 3 enormous fast break breakaway dunks. So fun.
And another Juddy that we've started talking about.
Oh, I know.
Judd Flavel, Liam Judd. How good was he? Let's have a look at the results from round one. It did have everything. And, gee, the Hawks were the big winners, no doubt about that. Overtime against the Bulls. Sharks at home. Tuatara on the road. Hawks just their second win in 14 games against the Saints. What a win it was in the capital. Nuggets, Jets, 1-point thriller. And then, of course, the Rams, who look very, very good up against the Airs.
I'm glad you called it a thriller between the Jets and the Nuggets, because it was a grind fest. Jets are really, really, really good and on the verge. I really think, I know they didn't, their performance on the road isn't what they would have wanted, especially in that first game, but that game they had it right there, and to be 0-2 at this point of the season isn't actually a bad thing considering what they've got coming in to fill their ranks with those 2 imports.
Well, in that game, Case, those two teams were just 2 away from triple figures. Rebounds. 98 rebounds in that game.
Yeah, that's when the big men come to play. You certainly have some of that with Withers and Timmons, but both teams need to find a little bit more efficiency on offense. Certainly that'll happen for the Jets when they get a couple more players, and maybe just a bit more practice time for the Nuggies.
Well, let's go back to game one of the season, and what a way to open it up at the Stockyard. The Bulls and, of course, the Hawks. It went into OT. Ethan Rusbach, massive three-pointer. Fantastic stuff to get the win. There was a lot to like about what the Hawks did, a lot to like about what the Bulls did for the most part. But when it came to the crunch, experience won out.
Bulls team was completely in control down the stretch. They were up 11 halfway through the fourth quarter and up 7 with 1.5 minutes to play. So unfortunately for Ricky McGill, that foul right there led to some free throws from which he did not hit. And this shot right here, really well designed by Everard Bartlett. Great execution by Ethan Rusbach. And after that, the Hawks just dominated in overtime.
Just a great screen from Jordan Natai as well. He took out 2 Bulls defenders and got Rusbach free.
Sharks get the Jets on Friday night. Maybe not a lot to see there. The Jets down a couple of players and Sharks clinical in the end. Jeremy Kendall and co just doing a great job.
Jeremy Kendall is perfect for a team like the Sharks. And we talked about that last week, having those wing perimeter guys either side of him. But just the way he controlled it. He had this gorgeous bounce pass that Casey and I waxed lyrical about, where he found, I think it was Zoe Burden in the corner, and he bounced it when he was in the air. It set up perfectly. I like it. I like it a lot.
And actually, the Jets played better than that. It wasn't a wire-to-wire win. They were right in the game up until that fourth quarter where the Sharks' quality just started to pull away.
Special mention to Liam Judd as well for the game he had, because he's been in the fringe of basketball for a while.
22 in that game. Daniel Pippen had 28 and 9. Between Liam Judd and Daniel Pippen, they hit 12 12 threes between them. Grant Anticevic, keep an eye on him for the Sharks as well. 23 and 12, very, very good. I think Jeremy Kendall's a great fit for Guy Malloy as well. Giants and Tuatara, you saw this one, Miles. What did you make of it?
I think they'll be disappointed, the Giants. They turned the ball over way too much. I think that they really need to have a little bit of tightness to their game. I know that the Tuatara a little bit aren't what they were last season, but Ruben Talangi is everything to this team now. Him and Rob Lowe, along with Jared Weeks, the confidence that Jared Weeks has coming off that Jack Jumpers season where he played all 31 games, he shot high percentages from three, I think around about 46-48%. You're just going to see it go up a level for the Tuatara. For the Giants, they'll be really disappointed they couldn't defend home floor like that.
Yeah, especially starting off the season. You know, they're a little bit underdone. Their imports came in a little bit late. When you're playing a team like the Tuatara, you really have to force them into mistakes and try and get those bodies through to try and fatigue this team who isn't very deep, despite the emergence of Charlie Dalton and some good minutes from a bench crew that didn't contribute a lot last season. All in all, I think both teams would be happy with where they've started, but they do have some places to go up if they want to get where they get.
Sell out at the Trafalgar Centre as well. How great is it to see that? And the big call out of that game, Casey Frank has gone with the Tuatara pinstripes as the best uniform in the Sal's NBL this season. Saints and Hawks, Saturday night, packed house, nearly 4,000 people there in the capital. Saints on the deck for the first time this season, of course, in front of that home crowd. They were up by 6, not long to go. Last quarter, 25-10, final 10 minutes by the Hawks.
Once again, the Hawks just turning the screws on the road. You know, this team only plays 7 players. As the season goes along, once they get Ira Lee, that's going to help them, especially on that interior. But I love the fight and the depth of offensive talent this team has, the way they can go to multiple places to score. Daron Otkawa coming off the bench early, a candidate for six man of the year. You know, he's going to certainly keep his hand up for that, but a lot of different options to stop.
Those players that they run the rotation through, the bulk of them are well known to each other. They've either played with the Hawks for a while together, or they played at different representative levels like Jordan Nartai's come in with. They know each other inside out. They know Everard Bartlett. They know the game plan. They are just absolutely humming. It's incredible what they did on the road. It's not just great, it's incredible.
And of course, Kyle Adnam out with injury, which a big hit for the Saints. Hopefully that doesn't last long. Inside
the first minute, an abductor strain. He's hoping to be back for Thursday night's game. We saw a lot of Jordan Nartai there. 30 points in that game, absolutely dominated. The Hawks, 47-30 winning the rebounds, and inside the paint, the points, 46-24. 2 areas that the Saints are going to want to clean up before they take on the Bulls.
That sounds like Hiram Harris.
Well, we know what he can do. Nuggets and the Jets on Sunday. What a game. What a thriller. This one had everything. Both teams didn't shoot well. They certainly took lots of rebounds, but it was a 1-point result in the end. And of course, Miles, the Jets had their chances to win this.
They certainly did. There was a stretch there in the third quarter where their perimeter defense gave the Nuggets absolute fits. They just could not get the ball. They couldn't get anything going. They couldn't sustain it. Danny Pippen is as advertised. Yes, he had to take a lot of shots because he is the lone import, and he's only had one other Jet player with him scoring in double figures, Takao Cooper, in this game against the Nuggets. But the Nuggets they sort of just survived this one, I felt like. Sam Timmins had, by his standards, an ordinary game from what he was used to having it last season in the Sal's NBL.
There's that final shot as well. Tuatara Cooper with a chance from the corner to win it for the Jets, and that is game over. Pippen had 18 rebounds in that game as well, 4 blocks. And as you said, Tuatara Cooper, 17 points. It was a really good start.
Sam Timmins had, I think, 7 offensive rebounds. Sam Timmins was like missing bunnies. Like he had the reverse going, but he kept missing it. Like that'll start falling once he's used to the game.
But that's a game with his size, speed, and power advantage. I'd like to see him go up strong on the strong side. Just enforce his will in the game. Don't go with the finger roll stuff. Don't go with the finesse. Just get it done.
I think he will.
We finished off on Sunday night, Rams and the Airs, a 12-point win to the Rams. They're up by as much as 23. The Airs actually won the second half. Stars of that one, Troy Baxter Jr., look out, 20 points in that game. Tevin Brown, we talked about him last week. He's going to be a star in the Sal's NBL. He had 16 in limited minutes. I've got a feeling he'll move into the starting lineup this week. Taylor Britt had 13. David Azor, 20 for the Airs. And Anzac Rossetto, 18 and 10. Ladder, this is where we sit after the opening round of the season. Hawks up on top, 2 wins on the road, fantastic. Rams, Sharks, Tuatara and Nuggets all with 1 win. Giants, Bulls, Airs, Saints with the 1 loss. And the Jets on the bottom, 2 losses from the Southern Swing. That's where we're at.
It doesn't get any easier for the Jets as well. So Mustafa Heron and Javion Blake, they can't come quick enough because they have the Rams next round. But again, we can't say enough about how impressive that Hawks team is. And when they had an import, maybe they had another import after that. I don't know if they need to, but if they have injuries, they probably will. But what a way to start the Sal's NBL season.
Hey, hang on a second, Case. I got 4 right in round 1. How many did you get?
Yes, so did I.
Overall tips count, not me. I can't remember. I can't remember back to last week.
What a tips coward, Justin.
I know. He's out of it already. Surely no one got 6. Surely no one got 6.
I think people got close, but I imagine that you're a Hawks fan. Perhaps you win a 6-team multi on that one and got them all right.
Very, very close. Absolutely. Hey, who impressed you the most in round 1, Mulls?
Now, I know the guys you've gone, and I know the stats won't bear this out, but I love Hiram Harris's energy.
Oh, love him by 3.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
not saying you guys don't, but you could go look at Danny Pippen's numbers were outstanding because they had to. Matua Maker, 20 and 9. The likes of those imports, but Hiram Harris for me, he does everything for that Hawks. The glue guy, he's on the floor, he's hustling, he's elbowing, he's doing everything that's necessary. He had 10 offensive rebounds in those 2 wins combined. Incredible.
Let's not forget, a minute and a half into that game against the Saints, he got a second foul. He was forced to sit. I do love the fact that he gave the refs the thumbs up on the way off, saying thank you very much. But he came back in that game and was spectacular. And that game against the Bulls, his last 10 minutes in that game, he picked it up by the scruff of the neck.
That's what really impressed me, just the way that he could smell blood in the water. He made a perfect pass to Ethan Rusbatch as well. That whole play design was great.
Case?
Well, I had Hiram Harris as my MVP choice, so I certainly love that decision. But from week 1, it was Jeremy Kendall. The way he had complete control over that game. Just missed out on the triple-double with 24, 8, and 8. And the way he was delivering the ball to his teammates, controlling things, because this was a close game for most of it. And it was really up to him to control the pace of the game, get the ball where it needs to be, and I think most importantly, choose when to be a scorer, because at times they really needed him to find a way to put the ball in the hoop. He did so, and because of the way he was playing in the end, they were able to pull away.
It feels like the game slows down when Jeremy Kendall has the ball in his hands, doesn't it? As I said before, I think he's a perfect fit for Guy Malloy in the way that he coaches a team, and I think we're going to see Jeremy Kendall really become the court marshal that every team's going to be afraid of this season.
Yeah, when you have a veteran point guard like that who's previously done in this league, who's proven his quality, and has come back for more with a veteran coach, I think they're going to be able to put each other in the right positions, get the buy-in from that team, and most likely return to the final 6.
I love what Jordan Artoy did this opening round. Fantastic. But the player I'm going to point to here that impressed me the most is the role that he's playing. Be interesting to see whether he plays the role for the whole season, and that's Daron Otkawa. He was sensational off the bench in both games. Came out, did what he had to do. He delivered big time against the Saints, and I think that he's a player that certainly teams are going to have to smarten up against with the role that he's playing.
And I like the way they've got the lineup broken up. They've got JK in that starting lineup. He gets to deliver. He gets to facilitate to his teammates. When Daron comes in, he can be more of that instant offense threat. You know, they right now just 7 deep. Once they get out relieved, they'll be 8 deep. So these guys are going to get a lot of opportunity, but I too really like the way he's playing off the bench.
Jordan Nato's playing for a contract as well outside of the Sal's NBL, and that I think spurred him because he missed out last season, the last Australian season, and for him to do those kind of things, you see him do it at the Tall Blacks level, but for him to do this now in Sal's NBL, and if he can do it consistently, that's really good for him.
On Saturday night, I think he was also reminding the Saints, who he won 3 championships with.
That would have been nice too.
Absolutely.
little revenge game.
Speaking of nice things, and it is massive news in the world of Kiwi hoops. Will McDowell-White has re-signed for the Sky Sport Breakers for the next 2 seasons. On Sal's Hoop Heads tonight, he is our special guest. Will, are you with us? There he is. Hey, first of all, Will, hey, congratulations on the news. Outstanding stuff. I know that there's so many hoops fans across New Zealand who will be very, very happy that you have re-signed for the next 2 seasons. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. Obviously a huge decision was to be made, and I think I made the right one.
Are you cleaning out the garage at the moment?
Well, I was going to say, he finally got a contract where he can afford to move out of the storage locker.
Yeah, I thought I'd use my money and bring you to the most expensive place in Brisbane.
Hey, Will, congratulations on the contract. How hot was it in your DMs with your agent? How hot was it with teams chasing you hard? There were 9 teams, probably more overseas as well, charging hard at you. How difficult was this decision, or was it easy?
No, this was, I thought last year was going to be hard, but this was at least 10 to 20 times harder. Every team I looked at, there was not one bad option. But for me, it was just having the trust in Modi and the rest of the staff in New Zealand, and just building on what we've already what we've already built.
How much of this signing with New Zealand is a look towards where you want to land in your career? You know, a lot of people, including myself, think you've got the talent to get it to the highest level in basketball. That's the NBA. And are you looking at this as it's a 2-year deal? You've got an option for that second year. Are you looking at it as, I'm going to springboard this, trying to get to the higher level of basketball? Modi knows how to get me there. Winning will help as well, but I want to improve. I'm thirsty for that next level.
Yeah, right now I'm still looking at just developing. Last 2 years we've always brought it down to one specific thing we want to work on, and this year it's just about being consistent, and that's the biggest thing me and him are trying to do. And just the relationship I have with Modi, I know he obviously has more big offers as well elsewhere, but I've worked with him for so long, and we've just been so good together, and hopefully I know he can take anyone to the next level. He's shown it. He's taken guys to EuroLeague, NBA, so hopefully I can be the next one in line.
Modi said that you were a 16-8-8 guy heading into the season, and I think a lot of us hung our hats on that with you and the play. Thankfully, you didn't need to be that guy. You were awesome as it was. Your game, since you've been a breaker, has unbelievably excelled. Your shot is so much more consistent. Your floater game and teardrops are just outrageous. What do you need to work on for you in this off-season then? What do you want to improve on? Because your offense is going really, really well.
Yeah, obviously, just to keep those two aspects going. I think a lot of teams now have gone into pick and roll, so there's a lot of shots off the dribble is what we're working on. Maybe developing some sort of isolation game would be nice as well. Don't really see that much from myself, so that'll be good. And I think next one might just be developing a little bit of a mid-range game as well. We saw it, especially in the final series, the way teams drop so low, and those shots are always going to be open.
You talk about this work and development. For our younger viewers out there, what does this off-season look like? Is it twice a day coming in? What kind of shot schedule? Just share a little bit about how much time off the court goes into developing a game like yours on the court.
Yeah, so usually I'll usually do one on court and one weight room session every maybe second day. I'll go back and shoot in the afternoon as well. It's like for some, I think everybody's a little different. For me, it's just getting the most reps I can. That's what builds confidence and gets me comfortable on the court. So I usually do that for about 5-6 days a week, and then you obviously get that 1 or 2 days just to rest and regather and get ready for the next week.
On an average day, how many shots are we talking? 1,000, 2,000?
Oh, it probably depends how mad Modi is at me.
Oh dear, it's a fair point, isn't it? Will, now I am the lone AFL fan on Sal's Hoopheads. I sit at the table by myself. How's Dad? Of course, 268 game veteran, superstar of the AFL, 3-time premiership player. How's the old man going?
Well, he's battling. He's battling through it. His body's been through a lot, as we know. So. Yeah, he's scraping along. He's coaching my younger siblings and all that with basketball. So yeah, he's just loving life.
Well, clearly you've got some housework to do, some bit of dusting in the garage, mate. So we'll leave you with it. Congratulations again, outstanding news. Hoops fans around the country just delighted to hear that you have re-signed with the Breakers, and we look forward to seeing you back on the court next season.
No, thank you guys.
No, thank you, bro.
Thanks, Will.
Do you guys know how good his dad was as an AFL player? Have you got any idea?
Indigenous fullback of the century, I believe.
Indigenous team
Daryl?
of the century, captain. He was an absolute superstar.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's just a regional sport there.
Just regional, yeah, absolutely. Just wasted on you two completely. Okay, round 2. Let's get into it. Games coming up in the Sal's NBL. If you thought the action was hot in round 1, wait till you see what's coming up in round 2. Thursday night, 2 teams looking for their first win of the season. One of them will be winless. Of course, I'm talking the Saints and the Bulls.
That's the game I've chosen as my marquee matchup because
Why?
Because there's a lot of questions around the Saints. There always are coming into the season. Everybody likes seeing them lose for some reason. I can't put my finger on it, Casey Frank, former Saint, but I just feel as though they have high expectations every single day. The Wellington Saints are playing for the Bulls. Same thing. Bulls were very, very disorganised at the end. They didn't look like they had any direction at the end of that game against the Hawks, and they let that lead slip. So that's a massive matchup because they have to get a win on that board because, like we said, who's going to be those 4 teams?
Who are you going for?
Me, I'm going to go for the Saints at home.
Casey?
Strength against weakness. The Saints got destroyed on the glass. The Bulls have that huge front line that really did a lot of good work on the glass against this Hawks team. I also am going with the Saints.
I think the Saints at home. So I just had to get the tip out of both of you. Tuatara and the Airs.
Loving the way the Tuatara opened up the season. The Airs not quite up to full speed. You know, they don't have Anthony Hilliard, one of the best scorers in the league, but they looked really good in transition. Once they figured things out in that second half, I like the way they were playing. The Tuatara with that guard strength might have a little bit too much top end talent. I'm going with Rob Lowe in the battle of the bigs against
Home team for me. Home team.
Same with me. Tuatara to win that one.
Giants, Bulls with the double. Case?
I'm going to go with the Giants in that one. I think it's going to be a tough road trip for the Bulls. Crossing the Cook Strait is always difficult, but once again, it's that rebounds. The Giants did a great job on the glass against the Tuatara. I think they can do the same against the Bulls.
Miles?
I'm going Bulls.
Hawks and the Airs. The Airs also on a double this week. Hawks at home for the first time, and I know the community there has had a tough time. They will get out in big numbers for this team, especially after the opening round. Hawks for me.
I'm going Hawks as well. They just look so good. They look like they've been playing for about 8 months together as it is. They've probably been playing at least 8 years together, the veteran core of that Hawks team.
I expect the shooting to come right for the Airs eventually, but not in this game. Hawks for the win.
Rams and Jets. Rams very, very good. We know that they've loaded up. They've got a good team. The Jets could be at full strength though.
I don't know that the Jets will be organised enough to integrate the 2 guards of Blake and Hiram. I think that's going to be a Rams win because they look so good on round 1.
Well, just top to bottom, that Rams team has got it all. Perimeter scoring, strength on the interior. They've got playmakers, they've got shooters. I'm going with the Rams at home.
And the Sunday sesh, Sunday night, 6 p.m, live on Sky Sport, of course, and free to air as well on Prime. It is the No Love Lost Cup because there is completely no love lost between the Nuggets and the Sharks.
Pump Sam Timmins into my veins because I know that he will be dominant in the paint. He's going to finish strong like Casey Frank wants to see. He'll dunk it as much as he can. Him against Romaro Gill will be a matchup because they have different strengths and skill sets. Give me the Nuggets in that one.
I love Todd Weathers guarding Grant Anticevich. I think that matchup's going to cause Anticevich real problems. Weathers, he's got the opportunity to shut those guys down. It all comes down to Kendall. Can the Nuggies slow down Jeremy Kendall? And I think not. I think the Sharks get this one.
Sharks for me as well on the road. Now to finish us off on Sal's Hoopheads tonight, it's simple, it's easy, it's yes or no.
Okay.
You've got no idea what's coming your way.
Can we give a shout out quickly to the player timeouts?
Yes.
The Sky City player timeouts. I loved it when I saw the teams use them judiciously. We talked about it last week. They learned from what the Toihi League did and the way that they used it. I loved it. I thought it was great.
And they're going to get better. And a shout out to Sky City giving away 10,000 tickets to community groups, school groups, to go along and see a Sal's NBL game. Fantastic stuff. Here we go. Yes or no? You can't sit on the fence. Here we go. Question number 1. With 2 imports to come and based on what we saw in round 1, will the Jets make the final 6?
No.
No.
Wow. Will the Saints make an import change this season?
Oh, yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're rolling the dice to say no.
By the time this has made it to air, they've made 8.
Man, I thought I'd actually made some hard questions here. Clearly not. Did the Bulls choke down the stretch against the Hawks?
Yes. Yes.
Sorry, Ricky. Hit some free throws, baby.
Sorry, man.
Will Ruben Tarangi make the All-Star 5 this season?
I'll go, yeah.
I'll go yes.
Should the Hawks keep bringing Daron Otkawa off the bench?
Yes.
Yes.
Last one. Is Todd Withers the best defender in the Sal's NBL? Thinking music.
Well, but just, based on his performance in the Finals 6 last year, I say yes.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, it's a close contest between him and Hiram Harris.
Actually, last one. Will you two
And
actually
Daron.
dress up next week?
No.
No. I'm going to dress down if you keep. I'm going to go further and further. Watch out, you're going to see a singlet soon.
I'm expecting.
I do not need nipple on this show just yet, guys. We're only 2 episodes in, all right?
I'm expecting beanies next
Week 4?
Week 4, I'm anybody's.
Hope you've enjoyed it. Sal's Hoopheads, great to have you with us right throughout the season and can't wait for round 2 to start. Get out and check out the Sal's NBL. Hoops action aplenty. Hot stuff. We'll see you next week on Sal's Hoopheads.